Hi everyone! In today's video, I would like to share with you some practical study tips on how to boost your score on a competitive exam. So how to study and how to prepare for those 4-hour long, 400 multiple choice question type of tests that you have more or less 6 months to prepare for. So like the GMAT, the PMP, and board exams in general. But before I go into the bulk of the video, I know you've heard this to death. I have to. It has to be said, so I'm just gonna say it. Start early. Start as early as you can. There, it's been said. It's out there into the world. Now let's move on. Number 1, digging for information. It might sound like a pretty self-explanatory, duh, Anna type of advice. However, you would be surprised how many students simply rely on assumptions or word of mouth before preparing for a competitive exam. So you just assume that they're gonna cover this chapter more, or you just heard from a friend that it's like more kind of practical than like theoretical, but these are all fluff. Do your research, do some intense digging, and get your facts straight. Number 2, the diagnostic test. Now, testing yourself before studying might sound like an extremely bad idea that would probably discourage you because chances are you're gonna flunk it and flunk that practice test miserably. However, it is very important because, number 1, it provides you with valuable feedback on what your weak points really are. Is it the formulation of the questions? Is it the time limit that freaks you out? The second benefit of doing a diagnostic test is that it allows you to see the material you're about to study in question format. So it primes your brain to go into studying with the intent to hunt. You know what it looks like. You know what type of questions are probably going to be asked of you. So you don't just passively attack the material and, what most students end up doing, try to memorize everything. Number 3, which is probably one of the most frustrating and difficult things you will or are probably right now encountering when preparing for your competitive exam, and that is the study plan. I have to say, as a comparison, it took me an entire month to finally find the study plan for me. Why? Because creating a study plan and creating a way to track your progress involves figuring out what perfect study methods combo and sequence will work best for you. A personal tip on how you can find out if the study plan you put into place for yourself is effective and will get you those high scores is simply look at how easy it is for you to pick up where you left off without hiccuping, without like feeling like you're just like a robot. It has to smoothly flow like a river. Okay, I'm being poetic right now. Moving on, the funnel method. Another discouraging thing when looking and preparing and studying for a competitive exam is the amount of material you have to go through. You probably have 60 textbooks, like yours truly. And just that pile, when you look at it every day, it starts to hit you right in the feels. So what we want to do is eliminate that big chunk of hunk of material, okay? We want it to look like a funnel as we go along to studying for that big bada boom exam. Start with the big chunky textbooks, reduce them to textbook notes, reduce them to study guides, reduce it to your cheat sheet, reduce it to practice test. Keep going in this direction as you go along. If you're keeping the same textbook along with you the whole time you're studying, it's gonna feel like you're stagnating. Think funnel, not tree trunk. Trees deserve to be outside. Funnel is in your kitchen. Use it. Number 5, the Purge, aka the cheat sheet. Chances are, during your competitive exam, usually they give you a blank piece of paper or multiple blank pieces of paper for you to either do your calculations on or just jot down ideas or whatnot. If this is the case, refer to my point number 1, you should know the first thing you should do when you get there in that exam section is to just all the important information that you need to know by heart. I'm talking formulas, I'm talking vocabulary or theories or things that you know you will forget if you don't memorize by heart because it doesn't come naturally to you. Put the sheet a different color like blue or yellow or something and practice writing it up from scratch. I want you to see that practice cheat sheet in your mind while you sleep. Those formulas and those things that you need to know by heart are your tools. Bring them with you at the exam. Don't leave them at home or don't rely to just spontaneously remember them while you're actively trying to solve a problem. Now, if you find out that you're not allowed a piece of paper to just write up all the formulas when you get to the exam, I still recommend you do the cheat sheet. I still recommend you practice memorizing it by heart because, hey, at least you'll see it right there. And finally, the last push. I'm talking about 3 weeks before your competitive exam. What should you do? One word: practice. This is not the time to read. This is not the time to go over your highlighted things in your chunky textbook. Do as many practice tests during those 3 weeks as you possibly can. Look at every single type of version of format of question that they can possibly ask you. And the only revision you should do is when you look back at the questions you got wrong and try to understand why you got them wrong. No more study guides, no more textbook notes. Nada, nothing. We're at the end of the funnel. Just practice. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it and subscribe to me if you like what you see because I post videos every Thursday and sometimes late on Thursday, but I will never leave you awake without a video.